we coming from the true space. We ain't entertaining neighbors. I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. What's good, everybody? My name is Open Book. This is my
Hey
partner.
guys, welcome back to Truspace.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's get into these energies. So, on Monday, July 11th, the moon is going to be in Sagittarius, making an opposition to Venus in Gemini and squaring Neptune in Pisces while it's in retrograde. How do you think this energy
Wow,
is
that's
going
a
to hit
lot
us?
of mutable energy right there. So we're gonna be emotionally reacting to being
Mm-hmm.
flexible, adaptable, where our vision, imagination, our sense of being optimistic, our sense of developing a higher sense of understanding. But what we are developing, we're developing the sense of higher understanding and broad-minded conclusion about what our home, family, since we're starting a new moon cycle in Cancer, and we're gonna experience the full moon in Capricorn soon. So right now, we're gonna come up with a broader sense of understanding that's gonna help us to take action and react on the full moon Capricorn. This is what Sagittarius wisdom and knowledge and higher education lead to eventually business status, something to stand on. But right now
Mm-hmm.
with the opposition to Venus in Gemini, it's like we want to entertain relationships and think logically about them. But right now we're more focused emotionally on highly seeing our family, understanding our private life from a much more broader sense of point of view, especially because Capricorn is about public life, while Cancer is about private life. So you can see how Sagittarius is going to be the point where we could come up with the understanding to go towards our like public life, since also Sagittarius is Jupiter home ruled house, where Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So yeah, and the Neptune
Yeah.
aspect there also is throwing a sense of whole confusion, and like you don't know what path to go on to. Are you picking the right dreams and illusion, imagination, and the retrogression is making it much more bad. You questioning everything, and like you could even want to escape reality at this time of period because Moon is in Sagittarius, Neptune rules Sagittarius too, so you can escape on a reality due to your sense of freedom and things of
Mm-hmm.
that nature. So yeah.
Facts, absolute facts, and especially coming off of Moon and
Mm,
Scorpio, Moon and Scorpio, Sun and Cancer. That was probably very emotional, very revealing,
mhm.
emotional wise. So once you're going into to Sagittarius, all this mutable energy, I can see where this recklessness would come from. Maybe from that emotional outburst that would have happened with the Moon. You know, maybe you had a good cry
Oh, facts.
with the Moon in
Facts.
Sagittarius. I mean, with the Moon in Scorpio in
A water
Cancer
trying to.
season. That's like Water Tribe for real. That was a very
Mm,
powerful
mm,
emotional
mm,
transit where I bet even if it wasn't like an emotional outbreak or like you cried or something like that, something was being revealed emotionally. And maybe this is what will lead to the mutable signs making you more reckless, making you want to add more purpose to things, making you want to escape or get out of a situation. But you might forget, and mutable is always the negative side is going to lead to confusion, you know, because it's that transitory state. So it's like it's leaving a state and entering a new one at the
mm.
same time. So it doesn't necessarily always know which side it's on, aka you know you're leaving winter, whatever season, and you're starting to feel, you know, say you're leaving spring, you're starting to feel the heat, you know, but you're still in spring, it's still raining and shit like that. So it's like that indecisiveness that all that mutable energy can lead to. But yeah, Moon in Sagittarius will definitely make you reckless emotionally, you know, like wanting to go out and, you know, uh, even put meaning, emotional meaning on your experiences. Well, Venus and Gemini is just trying to have fun, and then Neptune and Pisces is trying to figure out the subconscious mind. So it's like all of these different aspects playing with each other can lead to, while each individual area is important and essential, but the bringing them together, that's when it starts to get cloudy. And this is what happens with mutable signs, with a lot of mutable energy. I feel like things can get cloudy. Like cardinal is very straightforward, you know, and then fixed is very stubborn as fuck, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And that confusion type Tory, not knowing what side you're on, that's a mutable trait right
But
there.
like a mutable science, it gives you the ability to be so flexible that you could remix everything. If you look at mutable signs like Sagittarius, like
Yep.
Jay Z, whole persona, he literally just remixed other people's styles. He took Nas style from his rapping fast style, the Twister style. He took Blueprint name from KRS One, so on and so forth. A lot of people they say like Sagittarius are like remixes. They like one trick pony. They take people's styles that they make it they look better and things of that nature.
I can see that for sure, because it's like they think that they have the multiple
Hmm.
perspective, or they see things. It's about how you see things, and with Sagittarius alignments, you often forget that other people may see things differently, or but you think that you have like a overarching type of perspective
Yeah,
or
yeah,
insight, which can lead to
it's a
that.
whole
Can lead to that. You absorb in other people's skills and stuff like that. You probably wouldn't even know, or take in that you had took it. You might even think that it was your idea and all that type of shit.
exactly.
And then the moon is in Sag, is in conjuncting the sun in Cancer. How do you think this is gonna play out?
So due to Sagittarius sense of like broadness and wanting to escape reality through adventures, travels and things of that nature, sometimes home life does not work well for Sagittarius. So that's why they in conjunct naturally. Sometimes traveling so much separates you from your home life. So that's the whole in conjunction is like how far you're traveling within your uh spiritual desires, like what are you learning about it, what you expanding in, because separate you from your home essentially. And the sun is making supposed to make you aware of your home life, your private life, and you're not supposed to separate so far away from it and expand away from it. You're supposed to create a connection,
Mm-hmm.
but the in conjunction is reminding you you can create a balance out there right there.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. Cancer season's pretty crazy. Cancer season's powerful because wherever the moon is, it has a direct connection to the sun, to Cancer. So everything's gonna be emotional in Cancer season. Everything. But yeah, just like what you were saying, that expansiveness, that emotional expansiveness, it may show you what lies beyond your comfort zone, and that's very, awkward, or maybe you don't know if you can go for it like that because it's so far away from a comfort zone, or so far away from family, or maybe those mentalities or emotions that you're starting to expand into. It's like, it's going to shake things up at the home, or it's going to shake up your comfortability type situation. But like, people don't real but just by how, yeah, moon and Sag, Jupiter is ruled by Sag, and it's exalted in Cancer. Going through multiple experiences like that is what gives you the wisdom and knowledge. That's why Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, because as you go through all of these different emotions, and experience the moodiness of Cancer, you have already experienced a lot of things. You already given your emotional energy to a lot of areas, signing esoteric contracts that you're gonna care about this. You're gonna give your energy to this. So yeah, by the time, so when you're trying to expand how you feel, it could feel clustered, definitely making you um, confused, or at least maybe scared to leave what's comfortable, or letting you know that comfortability is leaving. And I suggest that you kind of get with it. The whole goal of Cancer season is not to establish comfortability. It's to not just that, but it's to understand how you become comfortable with things so that you can establish comfortability in multiple different
Mhm.
situations. And this is exactly what the moon and Sag is challenging
Mhm.
us to do, to see if we can maintain that comfortability or create that home-like environment even when we are emotionally
Mhm.
expanding.
Mhm.
And then Venus and Gemini trying Saturn in Aquarius. Well, Saturn's retrograde. How do you think that's gonna hit?
Man, so depending upon how we're seeing society is being restructured due with the boundaries and restrictions of Saturn controlling how we associate ourselves, and the retrograde is giving me the vibes of like right now the government they're gonna take their times to rewrite certain laws. So when Saturn goes direct, they could move forward with a lot of things, especially at Libra seasons. But right now, Venus trining. Uh, uh, Saturn in Aquarius, that that's almost like depending on how far you expand when it comes to your love matter, when it comes to relationships and things of that nature, you're supposed to bring that knowledge expanding in within your surroundings, the sense of curiosity, and bring it into your associates to help them become more flexible and expand and not to become so stiff and fixated, and vice versa, bring a sense
Mm-hmm.
of thickness and stiffness towards the way you connect and love and appreciate what certain relationship you should be into.
Yeah, yeah, facts. And look at the social energy of Venus and Gemini, how it's making you have these conversations lightly, not having to go into um, too deep, but making you want to test the waters, relationship wise, friendship wise, and all of that type of stuff. It makes you more of a socialite
Hmm.
energy. And look at how you just naturally wanting to speak more, you naturally, allowing people to say things and listening, not running away from the conversation, enjoying the conversation. Is going to lead you to, Saturn in Aqua. You just have more likely of a chance for you to meet the team that's going to make the dream work. You're starting to talk about these things being social, broadening your social world, or at least how you talk and communicate with people. So this is creating a whole bunch of opportunities for you to stumble upon someone who can add to the structure that you're trying to build, making it teamwork makes the dream work. But you may not even realize that this is what it can lead up to with Saturn and in retrograde. You may not know that that relationship could lead to you having further stability, or that you guys can really work together in terms of creating stability. Maybe once it goes direct, it'll be plain in your sight, and you'll be grateful for when that transit and Venus and Gemini, that you were vocal, that you allowed yourself to speak and create those relationships, and especially in relationships you might not have. Gemini is very indiscriminate like that, or Gemini is going to say things again into conversations that a person never would have, if you get what I mean. So you'll be grateful that you had said those things, and maybe you never would have. But when it goes direct, you'll start seeing how you can better take on the world.
Hmm.
And then the sun is in Cancer, conjunct Lilith in Cancer, while making a trine to Neptune and Pisces. Well, how do you think this is going to
Wow,
hit
so
us?
we're already learning and expanding in our home life, like the peace dealer calls it, uh activating soul power, basically, essentially, because it deals with the water element, learning how to deal with your emotion, learn how to control your water cycles and things of that nature. But with the conjunction to Lilith, this is you learning how to control like almost like a dark aspect, almost like a place that an emotion that you don't know how to deal with since you feel so vulnerable about it. And Cancer season is all about creating comfortability and initiating, making yourself feel refreshed with your own type of energy and things of that nature. And with that, trying to, what is it trying to do? Oh, trying to Neptune. Yeah,
Neptune?
you could get lost with all the dreams and illusions that Pisces is throwing at you, and emotionally wanting to get attached to them and get connecting to them. And Pisces, you could get lost with the whole water trine energy, and then with Lilith there, you could give it like very dark energy to it, and then expand on this darkness that Lilith is giving at you. So it's almost like you're trapped in like a dark nightmare you're trying to be comfortable in. That's the best way to describe it.
And you can see like absolutely, and you can see it playing out in the real world in terms of look at how we cling to comfortability and familiarity. It's like that's such a obsession for most of us, being able to retain a comfortable situation. So when the sun conjuncting Lilith, I feel like there's a real opportunity to reflect on that or to notice that, to see where your emotions are going or how
Mhm.
deep your emotions surrounding comfortability are. And when maybe even with the trine and Neptune and Pisces, maybe you can connect it to your belief system. Maybe you can start to see, if you don't get flunked out with this with the water energy, and get too emotional, maybe it'll allow you to see where these emotions are coming from a subconscious place, and maybe start to understand why you crave comfortability um, so much, and what it's offering you, just to better understand your emotional state of being. And then what? The sun in Cancer is going to be opposite Pluto in
Uh,
Capricorn.
so you
How do
so
you think
you're
that's
gonna
going to play
be
out?
put in this very emotionally vulnerable place where you're trying to get comfortable, and then you're seeing Pluto demanding you to get hard. Like you have no choice. It's almost like you're naked, and then Pluto's catching you off guard. Where's your work? What did you do? And it's like you feel so you feel so lost and out of control since Pluto deals with power control issues, and then you feel like you're on the bottom of your emotion, having nothing to show Pluto. So it's gonna really demand out of you to have something to initiate when it comes to Capricorn, a business, a status, to get out of that comfortability. It's almost like Pluto is digging deep within the softest spot that you have, so it can make it hard. So you could eventually prepare yourself for Capricorn season. With us right now
Uh,
being in Cancer season, the summer solstice. Yeah.
Yeah, facts. And if you've been bringing out the negative sides of Cancer in terms of being too self-protective, too self-defensive, too emotional, too clinging to comfortabilities, like just like what you were saying with that opposition to Pluto and Capricorn, it'll done you off. It'll show you that you have to transform into something that's harder. That you have to transform into something that's more more public. It's like with Cancer, with that self-protective type energy, it's like you retreat inwards if you use it like on that side. But Pluto and Capricorn is forcing you to transform into a person who can deal with things or handle things on a global level, on a societal
Mm-hmm.
level, on a large getting involved with this world type level. So if all you're thinking about is home and comfortability, it's going to be a rude awakening. It's pushing you outside. It's pushing you to start testing your limits. But if you've been using the good side of Cancer and you've been channeling, you're gonna have created relationships and have more familiarity on your emotions. You would have dived into that reflective type energy and understand your emotions. And with that understanding of your emotions, you create better relationships. And now you can have a support system. And if you've been building up that support system, whether it's friends and family, or you just understanding who you are, you just having a firm grasp of all you are, that plays out as support. So when you go to Pluto and Capricorn, you already have the people holding you up or relationships that can hold you up and support you, so you can handle the hard and roughness of Capricorn, that it's not as dry. You can be hard and retain your emotions because because you're supported and you understand yourself and your feelings and emotions. When you understand yourself and your feelings and emotions, you're not as self-protective as them. You're not hiding because you know how you feel and how you got there. You don't need to lie or pretend to anybody. So if you're getting into that energy, Pluto will be like, all right, done, no, fam. All right, that's exactly what you were supposed to do, and kind of work more into your
Hmm.
favor.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mercury in Cancer squaring Jupiter in Aries.
So, um, the experiences we're going to be going through with Jupiter is Jupiter is forcing us to go through experiences to extract knowledge and wisdom based upon how we're going to initiate new ways of seeing and feeling. Uh, Depending on which house you have it in. But Mercury is focused more on private issues and focused on home, the mystic home. It could even be a little bit more passive in thinking, but Mercury is not debilitated here, so it's not gonna affect its way of thinking that much. But it's more focused on home, while Jupiter is more focused on the outside. It's focused more it's focused on being aggressive, passionate, while Mercury is focused on a home life. So you could think of you could be thinking a lot about your experiences, and you think about how can you bring these together, your personal issues what you're trying to expand in, and then what you're thinking about with your home life, your private life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Mercury and Jupiter have that type of relationship. They're kind of opposites type deal, or they're kind not opposites really, but they're like Jupiter's like your higher mind, while Mercury's like your logical mind where you can start deducing things. But yeah, it's like your higher mind is telling you that you need a new start, that you need a new beginning, and that you need to be brave in terms of where you're directing your spiritual energy, your faith, belief, and creativity. Or Mercury is making you think of what's comfortable. So even though your higher mind is telling you you need to expand, the thoughts that come into your head may be thoughts of comfort. So as long as you're aware and those thoughts come to you, and you remember that, and it's that challenge. It really is that challenge to um, for you to know what makes you comfortable and expand beyond it anyways. Um, yeah. So that's how Monday is
Yeah.
looking. Tuesday, July 12th. Um, this is the early build for full moon in
Hmm.
Capricorn. And it's opposing Lilith and well, Lilith
Yeah,
is
yeah,
conjunct
and
Mercury in
yeah.
Cancer. So how do you think the moon in Capricorn is gonna hit us in that early
It's basically
stages?
the build up to see the moon in Capricorn is eventually gonna conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. So this is final judgment to see if you got out of your emotional shell and have you got out of your home, out of your sense of comfortability, and did you go on the stage? Did you express something? Leo, did you have something to harvest? Virgo, did you have relationships to build on, even though that was hard? The square with the moon in Cancer, I mean the sun in Cancer. And then did you have were you able to transform your deep vulnerabilities and things of that nature? Scorpio, then did you have something to be optimistic about, and did you develop a sense of higher mind, things of that nature? Sagittarius. So right now, what business, what status do you want to bring your home in? How do you see yourself? How can you change your private life, and how can you go towards your public life? That's what Pluto and Capricorn want to see. Is can your private life handle your public life?
Can your private life handle your public life? Yeah, or and Capricorn, Peace Stealer calls Capricorn integrity. Integrity, because this is responsibility. When you get to Capricorn, you're supposed to uphold certain responsibilities and maintain them and manage them in a efficient way. And so it kind of that's where it leads to. And with the moon in Capricorn, I found like a lot of moon and Capricorns were sensitive. Maybe it's just the moon in Capricorn too, or maybe even combative with their emotions. It was like their emotions is on a public stage, or they feel like their emotions on a public stage, and they I have to uphold it. So if you ever catch them not upholding certain emotions and stuff like that, it's like they start getting agitated. from what I have noticed. But
The Mars exaltation.
I can you exactly, exactly where you start feeling like you have to fight for your emotions. But if you have had the like what I was saying, the support system of Cancer, and you were reflecting and actually learning how to create a home, not clinging on to comfortabilities and certain home situations, but learning how to create comfortability, how to create a home like system. Then when you go into Capricorn, even with your emotions being exposed, even with all its expectations for you to uphold all of these responsibilities, you have a support system. So even if you didn't do exactly what you wanted to do or had done it, if you had that support system, it's going to be so much more nurturing. You know, it's going to be balanced, and you'll be able to see the transformation that needs to be done without getting lost in your emotions. You'll be like, oh, I need to do that. Maybe you still feel the way that you feel, but you can see what needs to be done. You can see what needs to be done. Yeah.
Hmm.
Jeez. But then, yeah, Mars is moving into Taurus, making a trine with this moon in Capricorn. How do you
So
see
right
this
now, due to the moon
playing
being in
out?
Capricorn, you're feeling bossy, feeling business orientated. You're ready to initiate a business plan, while Mars in Taurus is putting Mars in a slower place. So you got to be more patient with Mars in Taurus and take your time to build structure. And basically, Mars in Taurus is like get the bag type of energy. So the moon in Capricorn is putting you in a business orientated mindset. Says this is what you have to do to get out of and build on this entire sense of comfortability, since you have to be comfortable with business status. This is what the whole Cancer season is preparing you to do with this full moon in Capricorn and things of that nature. So the moon in Capricorn trining Mars in Taurus, that's heavy energy towards building structure, building on your plan moving forward.
Yeah,
Mhm.
facts. With Mars and Aries, it was like you was talking mad shit. You're saying what you had wanted and what you were gonna go for. You're like, that's mine. I'm gonna go and get this. And then Mars and Taurus, you start seeing the work that needs to be done to go and get this, and it's like, oh shit. You know, it's like you knew what you wanted and you jumped into it, but now you're coming into that phase where it slowly builds up to where that desire can manifest into physical reality. But Mars hates this, especially coming from Aries, where it's like, this is what I want. I know what I want. This is what I want, and you know, it's uh, very expressive on its
Mhm.
desires. Now Mars is being and it has and it can go and start it and jump and do all these things. But now Mars is coming into all the little things that it has to do all of that type of stuff. Mars has to clean up. Mars has to go and water the plants. It has to go and do all of this type of stuff. And it's like, yo, I thought I had wanted this. So it hates that initial phase. But if you're passionate enough and in tune with your desires enough, it'll help you push through um, and handle that the time where things are slow. So this is a real challenge when the Mars is being debilitated to see how passionate you are about your desires, about what you have want, and if you're real about that stuff, and if you're willing to do the work and um, to make that desire a reality.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then what? Jupiter and Chiron and Aries squaring the moon in
Mhm.
Capricorn. How do you think this is gonna hit
So
us?
depending on how harsh or how hard your plan is that you're supposed to initiate, that's gonna forces you to get out of your comfort zone, which is exactly what Jupiter wants you to do. Jupiter wants you to go experience, extract knowledge and wisdom about your sense of self, so you can expand that. So that could eventually help the Moon in Capricorn to take action on larger things of nature, since you can't take larger business action without seeing yourself in a larger sense too. So you gotta control that square with the Jupiter also, and you have Cardian there. So you being reminded of how you really feel, how your sense of self feel. But you gotta take action either way, because the moon in Capricorn making you put your emotion aside, and you gotta really be responsible and be willing to move forward towards your business and status. So you gotta deal with these type of injuries and be willing to expand.
Yeah, yeah, facts. While what Saturn's debilitated in Aries. So when you're looking at Capricorn and Aries type energy, Aries is kind of reckless. It doesn't want to think about its
Mhm.
responsibilities. It just wants to go and create. It wants to go and start things. It wants to go and do all of that. But that's where that square energy comes on, because emotionally you're gonna want to be responsible. You're gonna feel responsible and um, like you need to manage your emotions, like a whole managerial of your emotion type
Mhm.
deal. But when you're trying to expand into something new, you don't know what your emotions are going to be. So while you're trying to manage, you could be overlooking a lot of things. And I feel like that's where that square energy can come from. Whereas one side of you wants to expand beyond, and you can't be responsible for what might happen if you don't know, like into this new area, but you feeling emotionally responsible. So that may hold you back, or in that Jupiter and Aries thing where you could just jump into a situation and you don't know where it's going to lead you, but something's pulling you or telling you that if you jump here that you'll experience some valuable stuff and you'll gain wisdom and knowledge. Your emotions may be like, wait, we have a responsibility over here. You have to take care of this over here. You have to go. Don't forget about all of that, and maybe stop you from taking those leaps of faith.
Mhm.
So yeah, um, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, July 13th. It's the day of the full moon, and it's conjunct Pluto and Capricorn. How do you think this is gonna hit us?
So we're gonna be experiencing the full intensity of Pluto asking us to take power and control of our sense of comfortability, our private life, so we can move forward towards our business, our status, our needs, so we can stand our own feet and things of that nature. And with the opposition to Sun in Cancer, it's adding.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically adding. It's a fight between home, staying in my home life, aka my heart area, versus my needs. Do I want? I have to work hard while I want to be comfortable in my heart area. So you gotta learn how to make balance between these two, or you'll be overthrown. If you let your business life take you over, you can become dry, stiff, and you're eventually gonna die of osteoporosis or a heart attack. And if you have the sun in Cancer, or if you become too comfortable, you're gonna eventually uh, become too fluid. You're not gonna like stability and things of that nature. So you're gonna learn how to balance these things.
Mm-hmm. 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 For sure. For sure. And we can see it playing out in real life where it's becoming harder and harder to stay separate from the public sphere of what's going on a collective level, where we're way more entwined or responsible for the progression and changes that is going on in society, if you get what I mean, where you can't be dive into that Cancer energy. Oh, I want to stay at home, be comfortable, and all of that type of stuff. It's kind of like it's forcing you to have more authority, to have power and control over the authoritative aspect of your life, and who runs and manages your life. Now, if you're running away from that type of energy, you're not ready for this Pluto conjunction. I can see it playing out as where your authority is being taken away. Your authority is taken away, and you feel subjected, or like you have to feel responsible to listen to someone else's authority and give up your own. But if you had that support system and understand how you feel, it'll help you not fall into that type of trap. But as I see it, like with all of these alignments, we can't run away from the public domain. We can't run away from our role that we are playing in society. So right now, with all of these planets, we have this is where we should be thinking and taking power control of, and the roles that we play in society. You need to be the authoritative aspect that determines that of the role that you play in society, or else you're going to be subjected to someone else's, and it's not always too nice.
Hmm. Especially with the Pluto's retrograding too.
So yeah, that's that. And then
Yeah, so.
exactly, exactly. So it'd be more passive in terms of you'll see what you need to do.
Mhm.
And then Venus and Gemini is making it in conjunction to this full moon in
Cause like you're
Capricorn.
so serious.
How
Cause
do you think that
right
is?
now you're being put in a position to be so serious about your emotion, to move towards the status, and you know you can't be too comfortable. And you, but you're seeing Venus making you, wanting you, giving you the desire to indulge in a relationship, expand on learning about these things. But that in conjunction is like I'm very serious about these things right now, but I can't entertain this desire right here. This is the energy I'm getting. It's like you're busy because Capricorn energy could make you so busy in your working life that you forget like every single part of your other life, relationships, your personal life, and then your home and your family. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll start seeing how, yeah, your social life and relationships can, put you in a new space or maybe even prevent you from, you know, being serious or, yeah, taking, uh, being more business oriented. Maybe you'll start to see how your social, and then I can even see with Gemini and Capricorn. Gemini would be talking, be like, yep, 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 yep. And Capricorn would be like, ah, shut the fuck up. And then Gemini would say something, and Capricorn would be like, wait, what? I could utilize that.
Mhm.
I could utilize that. So it's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't shut up, Gemini. So it can also play out like
Mhm.
that. And then we have the Sun conjunct Mercury in Cancer. Finally, Sun's catching up to Mercury.
So like right now, um,
How do you think this
we're
is gonna
gonna
play out?
be able to think and articulate when what we've been aware so far about our private life, our home, what we've been comfortable. But with Mercury, we're gonna be able to think about it logically, interpret it. Now think about our emotion, give it the words, give it interpretation, and allow ourselves to speak about it, and not just become aware of it and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like a real download type situation whenever the Sun meets up with Mercury. That's why Mercury is like the messenger because it goes either ahead or behind the Sun, and then eventually meets up with it to be like, all right, this is the information that I had collected of around this area. You should bring more awareness around to these thoughts. You should bring more awareness around to these
Mhm.
things. So it's like a download, and since in Cancer, it's like a download of your emotions and what makes you feel comfortable. Looking at so that's Wednesday. Looking at Thursday, we have the Moon in Aquarius in conjunct the Sun in Cancer. How do you think that's gonna and Mercury in Cancer? How do you
So
think
we're
that's
not gonna
gonna
be
go?
emotionally focused on being fixated and rooted, even stubborn about our association. That we want to be inventive, revolutionary, and how we can connect with the society. But right now, it's gonna in conjunct Mercury and the Sun in Cancer. So while we're separating, moving with our associates, we're leaving our home. We're separating because this is the right now the fixated portion of the winter season, while Cancer is in the beginner portion of the summer season. We're going so far away from home that we're becoming cold that we might which is good too because we're supposed to do that because since Pluto eventually is going to move to Aquarius, so we're supposed to do that. So that's very important to do. We're not supposed to allow our home life to prevent us from associating ourselves with better people, better individuals, and things of that nature. But we can't forget our home life either, so we got to watch out for that. Since we have all this emphasis of awareness and thinking and logic and thought towards our home life.
Yeah, and then the Moon in Aquarius may make you start considering other people, considering social situations, your likability. Aquarius is very can always can be very self-sacrificing in terms of putting their own feelings and emotions behind in order to do what is most logical or what is the most favorable thing to be doing at the time. So you can see how with the sun in Cancer, when you're focusing on, yourself, comfortability, and if people, just those that are around you, close around you. But this in conjunction helps you learn, and then and also that's why, especially through oppositions and stuff like that. That's why in conjunctions are on each side, but it's letting you know or making you emotionally respond to other people in your social life. So that's what's creating the awkwardness of your attention is being placed on you. But dealing with that energy, that alignment is going to show you where your the emotions that you have towards your associations in your social life, how they're affecting your comfortability and your image of self. And that's a big understanding to have to know how to navigate that realms of reality. Your associations shouldn't make you forget yourself or your feelings and emotions, or make you forget your home, or your roots and where you had come from, even though you're associating on a broader level. So that's kind of where that in conjunction is. It's like forcing you to think so much broader, especially as the moon was going into the later signs, the collective signs. It's making you look at things so much broader when your attention is really just at home, just what's right around you.
Hmm.
And then we have Mars in Taurus squaring the moon in Aquarius. How do you think that's going to play out?
So while you're trying to emotionally connect with your associate, you might be more airheaded. You might want to move faster, but Mars in Taurus might put you to slow down a little bit, and might be a little bit too comfortable for Aquarius. Since Aquarius wants to expand, it's all about the air element, so they want to expand and thoughts and travel in different areas of possibilities. While Mars in Taurus want to take action on things that is valuable, stable, things that I could touch right now, things that I don't want to see the possibility of in later on the future, and things of that nature. So kind of you gotta learn how to bring your action and your emotions together.
Hmm. And then Mars is already having a tough time being in Taurus, where it's forced to take things slow, but it's still thinking about itself in terms of its desires. It's still in the first portions of the zodiac,
Mm,
so it's still very individualistic. It's focusing on what it needs, on the values that is around it that it can utilize right then and there. While the moon in Aquarius may be making you emotionally respond to your social situations, which may even take you away from, because Mars is struggling in Taurus, trying to maintain its drive, its motivation, its desire, even though things are moving slow. So if you're emotionally responding to what's most logical and to your social life, they may even lead you astray, or make you think of more people more at once when you really need to just exert your energy into whatever talent or value it is that you are passionate about, because it's going to take time. So you need to put most of your time and energy into that area. But in comes Moon in Aquarius making you, oh, maybe you should be more humanitarian. Or maybe you should be more social. Or maybe you should learn more about this because this is what it seems like a lot of people is learning right now. Or Mark Story's like, no, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I'm already struggling. So I can see that day being hard to release your passions, to be motivated on Thursday. I can see your social life and your associations or whatever emotions your associations may make you feel may take a jab at your motivations and make it hard for you to exert your energy to go and do things. And then we have Jupiter in Aries, sextile Moon
mm.
in Aquarius. How do you think
So
this is going to
see,
hit?
basically, with your emotions being focused on your associations and being focused on being more revolutionary, you're seeing all those ideas. You're expanding. And when it comes to Jupiter and Aries, how can you bring this? sense of expansion when it comes to my vision, imagination about who I am, into my associates. You're seeing the possibility of how your individuality could be expanded and be brought to your associations, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And you can see how like Aquarius is very progressive. So it is very open to new knowledge, new ideas. It wants to push certain things forward and learn more, while Jupiter wants to experience more. So you can see where that sextile comes through, where you want to experience more and how that helps you with that Aquarian energy to push things forward, to be more progressive, and how those two energies could really coincide. So that's Thursday. Looking at Friday, the 15th, the moon in Aquarius is conjunct Saturn in Aquarius, creating a T square with the north node in Taurus and south node in Scorpio. I think this is
So
going to
this is
hit.
basically Saturn wants to test you and your associations, wants to test you how strong have you been associating yourself so far, and is it like does it is it gonna work for you, mentioned in the future? Is it gonna help you build stability? North Node and Taurus, is it gonna allow you to detach and leave your vulnerabilities or your fixated emotions? South Node and Scorpio, so that's what's happening as Saturn is adding, making you more restrictive with your emotion, more restrictive with your association. Learn how to create boundaries, and learn how to be more responsible. Like Aquarius and Capricorns are one of the most responsible signs in the zodiac wheel ever. Is because they rule, both of them ruled by Saturn, but Aquarius, they also co-ruled by Uranus, so they
Mm-hmm.
have the sense of they want to cause instability for the sake of stability and this type of energy. Is it?
That's what makes the rebellious type energy, the humanitarian wanting to destroy the old to bring in the new.
Exactly.
But it's still about structure. It's still the focus on structure.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, essentially, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and then even like with the moon and this Cancer season too, the moon meeting up with Saturn too. I wonder if, just like what you said, is gonna make us more restrictive with our emotions. But I wonder if that's gonna be a good thing in terms of now we're how we are emotionally responding to our associations and stuff like that. If it's like flunked out, or we're neglecting our individual role in the collective, in our association and stuff like that, Saturn, that conjunction with Saturn in Aquarius is gonna serious that shit up, or make you see the impracticalities of how you were emotionally responding to the Aquarius energy, and make you sharpen that up. It's like, I know you want to be progressive and humanitarian, but that way you were expressing your emotions before was flunked out. This is what leads to stability. This is what leads to you having better structure in your life. So contract these emotions a little bit, so you can start to see how you can use your associations to build more practicality, instead of you just emotionally reacting to it. That's the difference between reacting and responding. So I feel like on Friday there's going to be less reaction in terms of you responding and then go to or reacting and just go letting your
Mm-hmm.
emotions go, but responding in terms of that's what you had said, let me contemplate my thoughts and feelings, and let me communicate what I have deduced. So it's not immediate. But yeah, that T square, man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's showing you your social life and your associations on a broad level, and your ways of collecting information. But now this is squaring with the nodes, the north node in Taurus and the south node in Scorpio. So it's like this is very connecting to not even just the future, but like past lives, and things that had happened before. I feel like a lot of us, it's funny, I have my South Node in Aquarius. And I do feel like in a past life, that's why my ascendant in North Node is in Leo. In a past life, I was trying to be more logical. Maybe I was a scientist. I honestly feel like I was one of these niggas that was fucking shit up, that was getting lost in all of these interpretations of solar signs and all of that, trying to attach too much logic to it and stuff like that instead of just shining that light. But I feel like a lot of us are connected to that, where a lot of us get lost in Aquarius. A lot of us get lost in that rebellious type of energy where we always want to tear down the old and bring out the new. But are we willing to be naked to see what the new values and the new ways of attaching stability that this revolution will bring about? Are we addressing the deep seated emotions that had caused us to want to rebel, that had caused us to want to associate with people in a specific way? So it's a real challenge getting you to look ahead of yourself and behind yourself to see, where all of this came from. Where'd you get this information? And what is your connection to all of
Mm-hmm.
this information? And how is it going to serve you? That's what the nodes is like making you do. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
hello, you could use this wisdom and knowledge, or you're getting lost into this wisdom and knowledge, and you wanting to, be humanitarian and tear down the old establishment, but you don't even know your deep, or you're not even confronting your deeper emotions, and you don't even know what's valuable and what's tried and true and gonna work. And then it's like you're flunked out. So the universe is making you really answer those questions. So that's Friday. Saturday, the moon is in Pisces. The 16th of July, the moon in Pisces is trining Lilith in Cancer. How do you see that
Mm,
playing out?
from being emotionally focused on our association, we're going back into our subconscious mind, back to dreaming, having imagination, giving meaning and reasoning uh to anything that we're receiving from the universe and things of that nature, adding sense of faith or maybe escaping from reality, depending on the conclusion that we arrive to with our association and the whole square with the north node and the south node. How solid is our association, and can we go dream with them and then move on to. But if we have any team and things of that nature, so right now we're gonna be emotionally just lost in the illusions and imagination. We're gonna feel highly naked, and with the trying to the Lilith, is gonna remind us of how emotionally scared we are and how we require comfortability. But our comfortability was supposed to be established when with the Saturn conjunction essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I can even see coming off of the moon being in Aquarius conjuncting Saturn with in moon and Pisces, where your emotions were constricted and you were forced to look at things logically and without the option. So I can see when the moon goes into Pisces, that escapism type thing. You wanted to run away. You wanted to be emotional because before you had hell, your emotions were being constricted into how you can go and express these things. So you're right. I get so see that escapism energy coming out with the
Mhm.
moon and Pisces. You wanting to run away from certain emotions because especially coming off of that moon Saturn conjunction, because it was making you practicalize your emotions. It's making you add some logic and structure to it, to your emotional expression. So in Pisces, maybe you're like, I don't want to do. You're like, I don't want to do all of that. So moon in Pisces, you create a whole new realm of reality for you to escape your emotion into. That's definitely
Mhm.
possible. Or it made you, that contracting of your emotions makes you more in touch. Like with Pisces represents belief, in your imagination, and this is how you create your reality. So maybe you would be coming into the emotions that are creating your reality, the emotions that are held subconsciously, and maybe you'll have a little bit more access to those subconscious emotions. And then Lilith is already there, talking about subconscious and the deeper emotions. So you're so right in terms of Maybe you want to escape into a more of a home-like situation. Maybe you want to escape into a more familiar um, type of situation. But you don't need to escape to do that. Like what I just said, your beliefs create your reality. So all you need to do is direct your imagination and your belief, which is way more productive than running away into a little la la land fantasy. That's why people get it fucked up. That delusion energy is real and it's powerful. You need to utilize that shit. Because niggas is here trying to tell you all of this other type shit, trying to keep you look at reality in a specific way. And then once that Pisces energy comes up, you know, it's either too much, you start crying, you want to escape. Instead of directing, or you create a whole realm of reality, a whole illusion, or a whole thing for you to get lost in, instead of you using that creative energy on the world. What can the world do? Imagine what the world can be like. And then with those beliefs that you believe that watch your reality start taking shape and form to start fulfilling that imagination. So I feel like on Saturday you can either get into that escapism and that really emotional energy, or you can start to utilize your imagination to figure out and start building and manifesting that desired reality.
Because yeah, because it's sextiling Mars and Taurus too. So yeah.
Exactly. Sextiling Mars and Taurus. So it's this is where your imagination can go into too. That would probably help Mars um deal with Taurus, or make whatever Mars is exerting its energy into Taurus more imaginative, more giving it the opportunity to embed some subconscious emotions and get that out and exerted, or your subconscious emotions are starting to show through your um whatever you're working on, Mars and Taurus, you know, whatever value that you're passionate about.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's how Saturday's looking. Sunday, the 17th, the moon in Pisces making a conjunction with Neptune in Pisces. How do you think that's gonna hit
So you're
us?
gonna be emotion such a like such a broad sense of feeling and connecting with the reality where you're thinking logically about home. You're emotionally thinking about all these things related to the subconscious mind, which is a creating opportunity for you to understand your home life from a bigger perspective, but also think logically about your home life from a much more like a mystical place and understand like the things behind the scenes and things of that nature. But also you also got the south node, I think. What was it? Moon and so yeah, it's the moon and Pisces conjunction. But also trying the south. I think it's trying the south node in Scorpio too, so it's allowing you
Yeah.
to release certain
hmm
vulnerabilities and things dealing with behind the scenes and things of that nature. Yeah.
It's like you're really getting. It's funny after the full moon. It's like the chances that we're getting to be emotional. It's like the chances that we're getting to start, you know, letting these emotions out, which makes sense because as we are trying to dry up our emotions and maybe take things more seriously and deal with things on a broader level, that still creates more emotions, more emotions that are more influenced by external energy. So this is what can really throw people. And it's funny, like we were talking about with the moon and Pisces, how you can really create your reality based off of your beliefs. When the moon conjuncts Neptune, you'll realize that I ain't bullshitting. That I ain't bullshitting. That's a highly magical type of alignment where you start to see, you know, you believe something. Oh, this nigga's not gonna go. This nigga is probably gonna say this, or this nigga's not gonna say, and then it happened, and then you start, and then it's kind of like weird where you emotionally felt like that person would have done that type of thing, but this is Pisces at the highest degree where it's so intuitive that it can understand the energy that other people are emitting because it's in that realm of reality. It's the collective pool of emotion that surrounds all of us that we are all into. So like mastery of Pisces energy is mastery of the emotional energy where you can really connect and empathize with everybody. with everybody. And that's where the imagination comes in too, because maybe someone went through something that you didn't. But with that Pisces energy, you would be able to create a scenario and feel the emotion of whatever the person had went into, and better understand them and understand subconsciously where all that energy had come from. So really utilizing this energy to create your reality, because otherwise I see you just being flunked out in emotion. I see you just crying. I see you just crying out of frustration, and trying to run away from responsibilities, the escapism. You trying to create whole realms of reality, especially with the trine with Mercury in Cancer. um to you trying to escape into your thoughts about a home, into your thoughts about comfortability, because you don't want to emotionally respond to all of that, your subconscious energy and all of the influence that is coming around you. You wanting to go think about, the energy that is just you, the energy that just makes you comfortable.
Mm.
And then, yeah, Venus in Gemini is cusping that Cancer. So Venus is about to leave Gemini, about to enter Cancer, making a square with Neptune and the Moon in Pisces. How do you think this plays out?
So we're moving from much more a place of thinking logically about the love and desires into Venus in Cancer, where we are putting our heart into our love, like our relationship and things of that nature. Venus in Cancer gives me like you really care about this person type of energy, as opposed to Venus in Gemini, like you don't really care and things of that nature. It was just a conversation, the possibility. Venus in Cancer was like us
Mm-hmm.
putting our heart together type of things. And then with the square with Neptune and with moon, the Neptune conjunct the moon and Pisces, you're being thrown with all these dreams and illusions and imaginations, while your love and desires are being thrown with these realms of ideas, thoughts, learning, expanding, being curious about relationships. And then you try to bring these things together, but this whole sense of confusion, because Pisces deals with escapism, and then relationship requires responsibility, and Geminis and Pisces, they don't like responsibilities. This is almost like I'm emotionally entertaining this imagination while I'm thinking about this relationship just to entertain it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then thinking about the relationship just to entertain it, and that socialite energy with Venus and Gemini, you can see how as you're starting to move, Venus is starting to move into Cancer, and you're trying to not be as recklessly or outwardly social, but you're trying to start to understand that, oh, you actually care about this person, or you had talked to multiple people, and now you're starting to narrow down, the people that you want to keep around you with that square. Just like I was saying with Pisces, Pisces is it has a lot of influence, or regards the influence that is being exacted on us from an external perspective. So there could be a lot of subconscious influences, whether it be the people around us or just things that we had went through that had created, you know, illusions or certain belief systems. So I can see that getting in the way of Venus and Cancer, us connecting with those that we really care about, and creating long lasting relationships off of the belief systems that we have had, and what we believe people are going to be like, and all of that may be based off of your past and negative things that you have went through, or just certain thoughts or influences, maybe your parents, or just life, is trying to impose this certain belief system in you that's kind of been imprinted. So when you're going into relationships, this belief system is here playing with your emotions, maybe not allowing you to see things clearly. So I can see your belief systems and your subconscious emotions, the emotions that maybe you're not paying too much attention to, your ability to escape and create new realms of reality for you will prevent you from creating the relationships with people that you truly care about, creating that family type energy, whether it be a friend or whether it be a lover, whether it be a pleasure or anything like that, of that Venetian type energy. um
Mm. Yeah, and like
yeah.
Venus is exalted and Pisces archetype. So you're gonna be like emotionally entertaining all these possibilities and things of that nature. So the whole sense of confusion come from. So like when you have too many possibilities,
Hmm.
you end up doing nothing.
Exactly. Like Venus likes that shit, but it doesn't end up doing anything. That's facts.
Mm,
It's like, oh, I love having all of these options, but it's like even I can't indulge. Even Venus can't indulge into all of that.
exactly, exactly.
That's why, Venus going into Cancer. And now it's starting to, it's not just all reckless trying out things. Now I'm only going to try and connect
So
and emotionally exchange with things that I care
Venus
about.
and Cancer is a housewife type of energy.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Mm,
facts.
mm,
That's facts. That's Venus and Gemini was the
mm,
hoe. And then now you turn the hoe into the
mm,
housewife. That's
mm.
crazy. That's crazy. That's facts.
It's crazy how people lived actually that.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's facts. So yeah, that's the week. That's how it's
Yeah.
looking. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to check out our services, check out our website truespace.biz. We got some ill stuff, help you align with all the cosmological energies and really take control of your life. Check out our Instagram, TrueSpace_, kicking that daily esoteric content. And yeah, like and subscribe if you fuck with the
Thank you
video.
guys.
Yeah, much
Take care.